This is Brian, and welcome back to this commentary playthrough of Chrono Trigger for the SNES. Alright, last time I started off by saying that I was planning on that being the last part of the playthrough here, but Technique Showcase took me a little longer than I thought, so I still haven't finished off showing all the techs. But I certainly should be able to finish them today, I believe. So we're going to pick up and head back in here and show off what's left. Alright, I got dual techs for Ayla and Robo. Boogie's the first one. And then that's going to target all the enemies. So, looks like it inflicts blow or stop on him. I guess I didn't read what it had said. Pulse, so yeah. That's a little different. I don't use too many status effects in this game. Then we got Spin Kick, which is just one enemy. Basically, it's like Robo spikes Ayla like a ball on the enemy. And Beast Toss. Kind of like Ayla's rock throw, but toss it back and forth between the two of them. So I guess that does more damage. And Twister is their triple tech. That's a pretty good one. Alright, it didn't take much to finish up the text between them there. Alright, so the last combination I would need is Frog with Ayla. And that should be all of the double techs and all the dual techs. Then I'll bring Magus in to show off his single techs. Alright, Slurp Kiss, which combines healing spells again, is going to target all of us. Bubble Hit. Single enemy target, and it's using that bubble again of water to basically, teleport her or to move her on top of an enemy and then she falls. It's not a lot different than the one he had with Robo for that. I would think the one with Robo would hurt more because Robo's a frickin' robot. Probably heavier than Ayla. And Drop Kick. That was different. And I wasn't paying attention. Do I have their triple tech? No, I don't yet, so I'll have to finish this guy off first, and then they'll learn the triple tech, hopefully. 3D attack. It's going to be just one enemy target, it looks like, also. So it's like X-Strike with Ayla kicking him. Alright, so that should be all of the normal dual and triple techs. Just gonna bring Magus in to show off his single techs. He probably has the best single techs, or at least total group of, in the game, just because I suppose that's partially to compensate for the fact that he doesn't have dual techs. I'll show him off, even though, I mean, his Lightning 2, Ice 2, and Fire 2 are the same as our other characters. But just to be thorough, and because its animations are slightly different, I'll show his casting too. I think I got all the enemies in here already. Alright, we're up to fire 2. Dark Bomb. Which, yeah, I mean, that's one of those area of effect spells. Magic Wall, which is the... No. It's like Shell, basically increases your magic defense. Dark Mist. Like water, except it's dark. So it's a shadow type attack instead of water or ice based. I think we just got 2 more. Maybe 3. Black Hole. Which has a chance of just eradicating or taking the enemy off the field. That one missed though. I know I used it once earlier in the playthrough and it worked on a couple of the enemies that time. And then here's his ultimate one, Dark Matter. I think Luminaire's still better, but I do like Dark Matter. It's a pretty good spell. And Flare for Luke is also pretty good. Alright, that would be all our techs, but we're not quite done yet, because we still have those rocks. But for those, you need to make sure you have the right party. So for the first one, I want Magus, Robo, and Luca. And then you have to equip the rock. And this one is for the blue rock. So the next battle we get into, it should give us the option for another triple tech here now. Yes, this is Omega Flare, which I believe this is a pretty dang good one. Yeah, that's one of the more powerful one of the more powerful spells in the game. Alright, next we need Magus, Luca, and Marley. And this one is for the Black Rock for Dark Eternal. Yeah, I think a lot of these rocks are ways to get more text for Magus, kinda. Because this is the only way he can do text with other party members. I think this one's pretty good, too. Yeah, I mean, Omega Flare is still better, but... Alright, we're actually getting rid of Magus for the next one, I think, here. We need Harley, Luca, and Ayla. So this is one for the girls. And this is the White Rock Oyozo dance. I don't really remember how much this one does. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does cause some status effects, it looks like. A little bit more of a unique one. Next one is the Silver Rock for Frog, Robo, and Ayla. That's the one we got in the Laruba Ruins. And that's Spin Strike. It's the tech. Yeah, I guess they're not all Magus. Only a couple of them, maybe, but still, I stand by what I said, that it was at least one of the only ways to get him involved in some more than single techs. Yeah, that one I would say is probably the weakest out of the triple techs. At least the rock ones we've seen so far. Got one more to go. Gold Rock. Yeah, see there, Ayla got a quad 9 critical hit. So I guess that's probably what that Bronze Fist does for her. Okay, this one, for the Gold Rock, we need Frog, Robo, and Marley. And this is the one that Frog caught in the Denadoro Mountains. He's the only one that can equip the rock for the tech to go on, I believe. That's for Grand Dream is the tech. Okay, maybe Frog actually has to be the one selecting it, too? Well, let's try another fight and see if we can get it to go off. Maybe it was a matter of where we were at in relation to the enemies. Oh, I think I understand. I need to have the Masamune equipped. I hope the level 1 Masamune is good enough, because I didn't do that side quest in this New Game Plus run-through. Yeah, because the Masamune's quite a few blades down the list here for him. Hopefully that solves it. Okay, well... it has to be the new Masamune. So what I'm gonna do is I'll go ahead and I'll actually stop recording here, and I'll go complete that side quest quickly, but I'm not going to do it on screen, and I'll come back here and show it off, because I don't want to leave that one behind. So I'll be right back in just a second. Alright, and we're back. So I did go, and I got the Masamune upgraded for Frog, so we should be able to use Grand Dream now. And yeah, for that, if you didn't remember, or if you didn't see the first part where I did that, you go to the Northern Ruins in 600 AD and 1000 AD, have the carpenter repair the floor so you can get to Cyrus's tomb. That's where the scene happens. Anyway, now that we got this all figured out, or at least it should be, let's go ahead and show off Grand Dream. This time it looks like it's gonna work. Was it worth it? Didn't do a lot of damage, but it was pretty cool. And yeah, I see why we needed the upgraded Masamune, because it had the form of Masamune jumping around there. Alright, we're going to get out of here now, and we're going to head to the end of time to face Spekkio. Alright. First, I'm gonna rearrange and get the party I want. As far as magic goes, I really consider this to be my best heavy-hitting party. As far as equipment, though, let's see what we got. Okay, that should do. The studs I don't think should really matter. Well, in case I need to cast Luminaire more than 5 times, I don't know, I suppose maybe we'll just leave it. Same thing there. Yeah, I think this will be a pretty decent setup, at least to try it out for the first time. And we'll see how things go, and if I need to, I can always make some adjustments and try it again. Because, as with the other fights we have here against Spekkio, I don't think it's necessarily going to be a long, drawn-out affair. But he should pack a wallop, I think. Because, yeah, see, he turns into a red new, but not until you get to level 99. So that makes this one kind of unique, because we can't level up past 99, so you're always going to be at the same statistics, well, unless you farm for tabs, I guess. But yeah, there's no way, like, you can't just take a break and go and level up if you're not strong enough. Don't judge a book by its cover. Yeah, what are you laughing at, huh? I don't know, the regular blue news were always pretty tough, so I think he looks strong enough. Alright. And he uses dark matter. Well, I don't have anybody protected against shadow, but it only did about 200 or less to everybody. So I can live with that for now if that's his strongest attack. See who does the most damage to him. Luca and Chrono are about the same, 1100 and some. Magus's magic is more powerful. Well, I guess not than Luca necessarily. So at any rate, we can do about 3,000 a turn. So yeah, I would say unless he busts out with something... Ooh, something like that. Should be fine. But as long as I have time to get a Mega Elixir off, that doesn't worry me too much either. What's that? Looked like he healed Magus. Okay, so I think Chrono should be okay, because he's got the white mail. But yeah, he can even use Luminaire, and it did hit Magus and Luca for quite a bit. I'm assuming he can also use Flare. Basically, he has all the strongest spells, I would guess. He is the Magic Master. Yeah, there's that thing again. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay. Oh, we'll need to try again. And it seems like, at least unless he changed his tactics, he wasn't using water-based. So if I have somebody that can absorb shadow, I could have avoided that at least. Worst case scenario, too, I suppose. If I use up too many Mega Elixirs, I can just reset and start from my last save there. Although it seemed like I got my Mega Elixirs back, too. Because I thought I had 14 to start with. Yeah. Hate those kind of abilities in games. Damn it, I didn't get my item off fast enough there. Yeah, I'm just gonna let him, well, I'm gonna try to let him take me out. Okay, that's gonna get very annoying if he... Guess I'll try to start bringing the other two back up. Because there's always a chance we can salvage it. Or I can just keep going with Magus, and if he wants to keep using Flare, well then that's on him. Okay, that should do it. I suppose I could hold off on one of my characters using his spell and just have him wait for that attack to use a Mega Elixir. I think I might do that with Magus, because his is a little weaker. That flare didn't do that much to us, but I'm gonna try to keep us topped up, just in case. Let's check out and see what Fire Sword 2 can do. Maybe since it's a sword attack, that won't add any attack to it. I don't know. Yeah. About the same difference as using Flare and Luminaire. It actually might somewhat, though, I suppose, speed things up. Just because it's only one animation here instead of two spells. Yeah. This one will do decent damage again, but we should all be up still. I have no idea how much HP he has either. Or necessarily what we get for this fight. I think I've only done this one once. Got 10 Mega Elixirs left. And he does that salt, which is just like a freebie once in a while. I think he's only been using it on Magus. I wonder if there's something to that. Alright, we got him. So there's your super boss fight, basically. Grrr. That was most embarrassing. Harumph, don't make a habit of this. Here, this is for you. Spekkio Cheerful Set. Got 10 magic tabs, 10 speed tabs, and 10 power tabs. And 10 mega elixirs. Received enough of Spekkio's praise to last a year. I am the master of war. Whew. Sometimes I scare myself. He keeps saying that punkhead thing. Alright, well, I believe that's been a fairly thorough demonstration of everything in this game. I will go ahead and update my save file there, even though I don't really see what else I would want to do necessarily with this save, but we got it there anyway. Well, we are done with Chrono Trigger here then. It's been a fun playthrough for me, just like it has been every other time I've played through this game. I like a lot of different games, but I think I would have to say this is probably still my favorite. If not, it's certainly in the top 3 or 4. But I think it's number 1. Ask me most days and I would say that. So I just want to go over a few things about the game here that stand out for me. First of all, it's not necessarily a long game, but I think it has a great story. And the way they introduce and utilize the time travel, I think, is just marvelous. It keeps things going pretty fast. There aren't too many lulls in the game. Story keeps going, and you don't really have to stop and grind ever or anything like that. And the side quests also are just wonderful, I think. And they put them in a way that towards the end of the game with all those side quests, you don't have to do them, but they all add something interesting to the story of each character. And they give you unique items and weapons to use if you want to. So certainly worth doing. The flexibility with the game for the different ways you can beat it, and the fact that it gives you different endings, that kind of makes it so that even though it's like a 20-hour game, you can certainly stretch it out and play for a lot longer just to do all that. I mean, one of the downsides of that, I guess, is if you're trying to do them all at once like I was here, you do end up facing Lavos a lot of times, and that can get a little bit repetitive. But if you try some different party combinations, at least that helps a little bit. And the fights don't take that long, so it didn't bother me too much. It was getting a little repetitive, but that was alright. What else? The techs and magic that you get in the game. I like how they utilize the dual and triple techs. That makes great variety. I'm one of the players that once I get something that I like using, I just kind of keep spamming that over and over again. I try not to do that too much, especially if I'm doing a playthrough, but I know it's going to happen. Like Luminaire, at some point I'll start spamming that once I get it, just because I know it'll wipe out the parties quickly. So it does keep things going faster in that regard. But I do like that they have all the triple techs and the dual techs, because you can experiment a little bit with your playstyle that way. Well, that's another reason, brings me to my next point. There is great replayability with this game. I'd probably play through this one at least once a year. It's that good. Sometimes more than once. I probably wouldn't have played through it as soon. I just went through it towards the beginning of this year, so it hasn't been a full year even. I don't know if I would have gone through it again as quickly, but I wanted to get a playthrough of it up here on the channel. And the multiple endings and the magic system kind of lend to that replayability, I think. It's just, yeah, something you can come back to again and again. Not all RPGs have that to them, but I think this one does it really well. As far as items, weapons, accessories, I think it did a pretty good job with that. Sometimes items are a little too plentiful almost. It's like I never really had to stop and buy healing items or any of that stuff, because you just find so many of them and there are a lot of drops from enemies. But that's just a nitpick. There's nothing too bad about that. I'd rather have that than, you know, have to stop and grind for a ton of gold just to be able to buy items because you can't get them anywhere. And as far as the weapons and armor go, I like the fact that they have different varieties of things and things that do different. Like the mails that we can get that absorb the different elemental spells. That's a great touch. I like that. The fact that some of your weapons have different abilities that they'll inflict on enemies, or like that they'll do more damage against magic enemies. I think that's a great touch too. Adds a little bit extra to the game. The accessories are pretty good too. There are a few of them that are much more powerful than the others. Obviously, like that gold stud that I get, I like to use those. But they have a lot of different variety, like counterattack, adding speed, adding strength, adding HP, which obviously once you get to level 99, you don't need that anymore. But it's nice to have it earlier on in the game. Like the one for Ayla to help her steal better. Just a pretty good variety there of stuff too. I would say I'm a fan of that system as well. A few things they could have done better, maybe. I talked about how much I like the side quests and how it develops each character a little more. I feel like they could have done a little more with Ayla, for one. Because the only thing that you really get with her post-game or towards the end of the game is that you can go back to her village and trade for a better piece of armor. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they could have added something else into the prehistoric era for her to do. That could have added to the story a little bit. But, I mean, it was still fine without it. It's just something I'm kind of envisioning that they could have done. As far as techs and stuff, I wish they had done more with Magus. I think the reason they didn't is because he was supposed to be more of an optional character. So they had him kind of stand alone on that. Otherwise, I don't know why they couldn't program a few more, or a few dual techs in with him. Maybe it is because he is such a loner. I don't know. It was at least nice that we got to kill a few of those triple tech rocks with him. But there were only 2 of them to utilize him for that. I think that would have been an easy way for them to add more of that in if they didn't want to just give him straight up techs with people. They could have put more of those rocks in the game, maybe. And maybe you had to use those to access his stuff. That would have been nice. But, once again, that's just a nitpick. Still love the game without it. It's just something I think maybe they could have done a little better. Now, there are several versions of the game out there. I think my favorite is probably still the regular SNES one. This one that I went through here. Things just go smoothly with loading times. It has all the gameplay is great and everything, all the content is great. I don't think there was really too much to improve upon. The later versions, I don't necessarily feel like they were improvements. They didn't necessarily hurt it, but I don't feel like they're any better. Like, I think there was a Nintendo DS version that did add a little bit of extra content. There were some vortexes and different maps that you could go to for extra content. I went through them once, but it wasn't really very memorable. I don't even remember what you had to do at this point. And for like the PS1 version, they did add a few cutscenes, so that was kind of nice to see a little bit of extra animation and stuff like that. But the loading times were a little worse on that, which I think was just part of going to the disc-based system on the PlayStation compared to the cartridge on the SNES. And then there was the Steam version, which that's the most recent one I purchased. That's pretty good. It has a few quality of life upgrades. And the graphics were improved a little, I think, but I don't know. There's a certain charm to the old graphics in the original version here. So I think overall I would still stick with this version, although the Steam one is pretty good. I'll hand that to him. Some things I hear people say sometimes about this game is that they wish it would have had a true sequel, or they even hope now that there will be a sequel or a remake. And a lot of you might say, well, Chrono Cross is out there, but that's not really a sequel to the game. It does share some elements and some story a little bit. It had a few Easter eggs in there and stuff like that, but it's not really a true sequel to this game. And a lot of people really don't like Chrono Cross. I can't say I love it, but I think it's a decent game. I definitely don't hate it. If this game's a 10 out of 10, I'd probably put it somewhere around a 7 or 8. It's still pretty good. This has a lot of characters, is one of its biggest downfall, and the magic system's a little more wonky than this one. So, I mean, that's a we consider that a criticism that there hasn't been a remake or a true sequel. These days, I don't know. Sometimes if you really love a property or an IP, you sometimes get disappointed when somebody else tries to remake it with their own vision, because it's hard to match up to something that you've enjoyed for so many years. Your expectations, I think, just get way too high. That's the same with like movies or any type of media that we digest. I think we just expect too much, and then we're disappointed when it doesn't live up to our expectations. So I think for now, I'd like it to just stay the way it is. I don't need a remake of Chrono Trigger. The ports that they've done and quality of life improvements, that kind of thing's okay. But yeah, we don't need to redo the story or any of that, or add extra content at this point. The last thing I want to talk about is the New Game Plus. I kind of feel like they could have done more with that, because there isn't really much extra there, other than the fact that a few of those endings you probably really couldn't do the first time through. So they do give you that. But otherwise, side quests and everything else you do, there's nothing really else there. New Game Plus just helps you as far as farming, more equipment and tabs and stuff like that. But it doesn't make the game any more difficult. Difficulty doesn't go up, so the enemies you're fighting second time through, you're just mowing them down, even the ones that are closer to the end of the game. One of the few things that you get added in is, well, no, I guess it's not even added in, because I was going to say you can fight these Spekkio battles here, but you could do that in the first playthrough if you wanted to grind up to level 99. So that's one thing I think they could have done a little bit more with, maybe. But then again, if they had done that, maybe I wouldn't have liked what they did, so it's hard to say. Just a topic for conversation, at least, though. Anyway, I think that's all. We'll call it there for today. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. I know I really enjoyed making it and putting it out here, so... Next, I think... I got several games I want to get to. I think the next one I'm going to start on this time slot is going to be Secret of Mana. Mana? I'm not sure how you say it, but that was another one of those SNES games that I grew up with, and then just adore that one as well. It's not quite as high as this one, and it's more of an action RPG. If you're familiar with it, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but otherwise, why don't you stick around and check it out and see if you like it. Anyway, though, if you've been enjoying the content so far, please like, comment, and subscribe or follow, and we'll catch you next time.